Hello there. Welcome to my live. My name is Llewellyn, and I am an abuse survivor. I'm also an author of Abused. It is what it is. I want to come today to talk to you about if your life really matters, and if so, why? What is so important about living? After being abused and living the life of abuse, I always wondered, did it really matter? Did my life really matter? Did anyone really care? Because it really felt like no one cared. I was hated on. I was judged. I was beaten. I was sexually abused. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But I always wondered if my life truly mattered, what was my actual purpose? What was I here for? What reason could I possibly have for enduring all the stuff, all the crap that I had? Why am I here? And I didn't understand a lot of things until I found God, or let me accurately rephrase that, until I chose to follow him and his teachings. I was kind of raised in different religions. I'm talking Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, Mormonism. I've had it all. And growing up, I was very confused, not sure which way to go. And I'm still learning, feeling my way, but I'm studying the Bible more and more. And I found since over 20 years ago, leaving my abusive ex-husband, that I may not know what my purpose is, but after reading the Bible, I've discovered a few reasons for me to continue living. And I'd like to share a few of those with you. The first and foremost one is, if you know anything about the Bible, I'm sure everyone knows this, which is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That in itself tells us that God loves me so much, that he loves all of us so much that he gave his Son to die for us. Now, I don't know about you, but I preach this about all of my videos that I do, is I would never sacrifice my son. Not for me, not for you, not for anyone. And for God to sacrifice his Son, and his Son knowingly going to be sacrificed for us, how much love do we need? Is that not enough? How much more do you need to know that you're loved? Well, I'm going to continue that with the Bible. So one of the things is Matthew 10:31. Let me get over here. There it is. Matthew 10:31, it says, so don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. You are worth more than sparrows. You are worth more than sparrows. It's just truly amazing reading the Bible of how worthy I am, because God says that he sent his Son to die for me. He's got plans for me. I'm more worthy than sparrows. I mean, there's just so many things. I hear people always asking, why do you stay in the abusive relationships? They're more concerned about me being in the abusive relationship than the person abusing me. Why is the person that's doing the abusing, why are they not called on? Why are they not being judged? Why am I being judged for being abused? Why am I the one that's being bullied and picked on and judged because I stayed in an abusive relationship? I don't know either. I don't know why the abusee, right? The abuser wasn't judged. I don't know why he wasn't bullied. I don't know why no one stopped him. I don't know. I stayed for many different reasons. Many, many different reasons. And towards the end of a relationship, I always told myself it was because I didn't have enough furniture for the kids. They didn't have beds. They didn't have clothes. They didn't have this. They didn't have that. I didn't have a place to go. Whatever the case is, I stayed. And I made excuse after excuse after excuse. And I stayed. Well, hello there. How are you? But the real question shouldn't have been why I stayed in the abuse. The real question should have been why he was abusing me. Why was he abusing me? It wasn't anything I had done in the beginning, because towards the end, I was pushing every single button I could just to get him ticked off. And I didn't care what the consequences were. I was done. I was just done. And I should have walked out before then, but I didn't. But I chose to follow God because I feel more at peace. I feel at peace. It may not be your choice, and that's fine. That's fine. It's my choice, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that you can't learn from me or that I can't learn from you. We're all human. We are all human. We all make mistakes, and hopefully, we learn from those mistakes. I always wondered why I was put on this earth. I mean, I was abused as a child. I was abused by my first husband. I was bullied in school. The list goes on. What was my purpose here on earth? And the last couple of years, I think it's come to me. And that's, I'm here to help others. I am here to have the empathy, the understanding, the kindness that goes along with abuse. Because not many of us are talking about it. Not many of us are sharing about it. Not many of us are willing to discuss the horrors and the gory details of the abuse that we have lived. And I am stepping up, I am breaking my shell, and I'm coming out. And I'm telling you about it. I only believe part of that. I don't think God gives us anything. I think that, and this is just my belief, I firmly believe that when God said you have freedom of choice, you can choose to follow me, you can choose not to follow me, you can choose anything. And in my, I'll call them parents because I don't want to be mean. In my parents' case, when I was living with her and her husband, and I was being abused in that family dynamic, I don't believe God was involved in any of that because of the fact that he doesn't want people to be hurt. However, as a child, he just can't pick me up out of that family and physically put me into another family. This family chose to do the things that they chose to do without God being in their lives. And that was their choice. Unfortunately, it affects everyone else around them, especially the children that get hurt. I do believe that God took this and he says, Llewellyn, this is what happened to you in this family. This is what happened to you when you married this man. But if you follow me, I'll make it all better. And I will love you. I will love you for who you are, for what you've been through. I will love you no matter what. As long as you forgive, as long as you follow my commandments. That is what I believe. And it's my belief. It may not be yours, but it's mine. And I believe that everything that we are dealt, whatever cards that we're dealt, I believe as long as we give everything to God in prayer, as long as we follow his commandments, I firmly believe that whatever happens is going to hopefully benefit us in some way, shape, or form. And that's why I wrote my book, because no one knew what I went through as a child, as a young adult, as a middle adult, actually, until my early 30s. It was just something you just don't talk about. But I wasn't ready to leave the comfort, and I don't mean it comfortable as like, hey, I'm comfortable in my clothes, right? It was what I knew. I didn't know anything outside of the abuse that I was in. I did not know anything. thank you. And I think that's what I'm here for. I think I am here to help others, male, female, because I'm telling you, not just women are abused, men are abused too. There are men that are out there that are so loving and so kind because they're brought up in a loving, kind family that when a woman hits them and they're taught not to hit back, they take it. That's abuse. That is abuse. So not all abusers are female, not all abusers are male, and not all victims are female, and not all victims are male. It's a combination. And yes, there probably are more females than there are males because 9 times out of 10, men are stronger than women. And I said 9 times out of 10. But I want my experience not to have people feel sorry for me because I lived it. I'm done. I want you to know what I've gone through so that way you know that I can sympathize with you, that I can empathize with you, and that I can tell you the path that I took, tell you what paths I've heard other people take, and help you find your path. Because my path is not going to be your path because we're 2 different people. We are 2 different people, and that is great. That's amazing. Because what you lived through, maybe I can learn something from it and vice versa. And it's an amazing, amazing aspect of life. I'm only here to tell you what I know, what I lived through, what I went through. I can't tell you what you lived through, what you went through, because I don't know. Whether you're right or you're wrong, I don't know. Whether I'm right or I'm wrong, I don't know. I put everything here, all my trust, all my knowledge, everything in God. That's my belief. That's where I feel more at peace, is by praying to a higher being, a higher power of God. Well, it's good afternoon to me, but it's good evening for you. Hello there, Josephine. How are you? But as I was saying, I wasn't ready to leave the abusive relationship because I didn't know that there was anything better out there. I thought it could be worse. You know that saying, if you're out of the fire into the frying pan, or out of the frying pan into the fire, however it goes. I think it's out of the frying pan into the fire. That I was worried. I was worried that I was already, I was worried that I was already in that frying pan. And if I jumped, I'd go into the fire and I'd just combust and I'd be done, right? I didn't know. What came down to me actually leaving and not caring what items I had anymore, I was done. I would have walked away from everything and just had the clothes on my back as long as I had my kids. The moment that realization hit was the moment he had my son by the throat, and that kid was 6 or 7 years of age. He had him off the ground against the wall, and I walked in and I was done. I never looked back. And I felt guilty because I always thought that 2 parents, 2 people that brought children to the world should stay together for the sake of the kids. And I tried for 13 years. God knows I tried. Did everything I could. Until the end when I gave up and I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And I did everything I could to take him off. And I did. I did everything I could to take him off. And I don't care if he beat me or not. I was done. All the name calling he did and all the mental abuse he did, all the emotional abuse he did, I was done. I didn't care anymore. The moment that kicked in that I cared again was when he had my son by the throat. And then it's like, what am I doing? I am teaching my children that this abuse is okay. And I didn't want my kids growing up that way. I was scared that my son would grow up to be like that man. And I thank God every day that he did not. You know, and that's exactly it. It was the strength of my children that I finally, I guess, had this aha moment, this lightning strike, whatever you want to call it, and go, oh, I need to go. And I just grabbed my kids and I left. I didn't take anything with me. I just left because items do not matter. You can replace items. You can replace households and furnishings. And I hate to say it, even pets. I walked away with nothing. I had pets like you would not believe. My children had pets like you would not believe, but I walked away. And I have to say, this is funny because my ex went back and he goes, here, you can have this, here, you can have this, here, you can have this, here, you can have that. Take the animals, I don't want them, and he was being very kind. He was being very wonderful. And then I started doubting myself. Did I do the right thing? Because here he is, he's being nice. I now had the whole house furniture again. My kids had their toys, they had their beds, they had all their clothes. They even had their pets, and we had 1 dog, 4 cats, 5 cats, 5 cats, and the list goes on. And I'm like, well, am I doing the right thing? So on our 13th? No, it would have been the 14th. Would have been our 14th anniversary. I had him over for dinner. And I said, why don't you come on over? Be with the kids and I. We have been separated since that January. Our anniversary was in May. And I knew from the time that I had left him that he was sleeping around with other women. I knew that. But I had left. So to me, we were not together anymore. We were broke up, so that didn't matter. However, he had come to my house for dinner after being with that woman. And I mean, literally being with that woman. Because he asked me, he goes, can I take a shower? I'm like, no. And that's what you need to do. When it's as important as your children, your life, your children's life, you just pack the bare necessities and go. Nothing else matters. Start from scratch all over again. Nothing matters. Nothing. But the life of you and that child, because those 2 lives or children, or in my case, it was 3 kids, cannot be replaced. They can't. There's no way. When I was with my first husband, he kept telling me that he kept telling me that my children would be better off without me because I could not cook. I couldn't clean. I didn't know how to take care of my kids. And he was right. But because I didn't have to. I went from being with this woman who had given birth to me, my parent, lack of a better word for right now will be nice. Being with her who did what cooking was done, the meals and laundry and stuff like that, into being with a man who did everything. My husband cooked, he cleaned, he did everything. The only thing I did is I took care of the children. I made sure they were fed. I made sure they were dressed. I made sure they had baths. But he didn't like us playing together because we couldn't be loud. We had to be quiet. We couldn't put, sheets up to make pretend forts in the house. Oh God, no, we couldn't do that. We couldn't dance crazy in the house. We couldn't do any of that stuff because I'm an adult. And as an adult, I have to show the kids how to act. They're kids. They're supposed to be goofy. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to do wild things and have these imaginations that just, who knows, they might change the world one day, right? But it all starts with you. Exactly. And that's the way I felt. I felt useless. And so I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. And so I invited him over for dinner. And all he wanted after sleeping with this woman was to sleep with me and get back together with me. And I'm like, no. So after a literal verbal fighting match, I kicked his butt out. And I look over my kids. And my kids are like, and I was scared. I was like, oh my stars, they saw this. I'm so sorry, kids, And they came over, they hugged me, and they go, Mom, are you okay? And we love you, Mom. And I bawled. I mean, my kids were telling me that it's going to be okay. My kids. I wasn't the strong one. They were. Sorry. And I knew right then and there that we would be so much better without him. And so I'd already filed for divorce that January. And again, this was in May. And I went ahead and I finished up the divorce. And it didn't get done until November. Because back then, we both had to take this divorce class for kids because we had children. And he wasn't going to take it. He goes, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not going to do that. And it stopped me from getting that finalized divorce. So finally I said to my attorney, if he's not doing it, can we still get this done? Because I need out. I need out. So he went to the judge and it was finally done in November. And it It felt like forever. And thank you, Josephine. I was trying not to. I was really trying not to. I was trying to hold it all in. And it's hard. It's really hard. When I think back to those babies, my babies, and what I allowed to happen. And that's another thing too, is I allowed it to happen. But I didn't know. I didn't know any better because that's what I grew up with. But now I know better. Now I don't want that for my children. I don't want that for my grandchildren or my great grandkids and so forth and so on down the lines. And that's why I've written my book. That's why I'm in the middle right now of writing my second book, because dang it, we are worthy. We are amazing. We are wonderful. We are loved. And I'm telling you right now, God loves you. God has a plan for you. Exactly. Held for review. No. In Jeremiah 29:11, let me get to there. It's one of my favorite, and I mean favorite, scriptures. I absolutely love it. That's Isaiah. I don't want Isaiah. I wanted Jeremiah. All right, where are you? So, past it. There it is. So Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Wow. So that means that I can't kill myself now, because God says there's a plan of future for me. And if I had killed myself like I really thought I wanted to do all those many years ago, where would my kids be? Who would have my kids? Who have raised my kids? And what kind of kids would they have turned out to be? I mean, it is amazing. It is so amazing, the decisions, the choices that you make. And you have the freedom of choice. You have that choice to stay, to go. I can't choose for you. No one can choose for you. No one can tell you what to do and how to do things. You have to come up with that yourself. And I'm hoping, I'm praying for each and every single one of you that have either gone through abuse, that know someone's gone through abuse, that is going through abuse, that you find the strength deep within you to realize that you are worthy. You are loved. You are amazing and strong. Only you can take back your power. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I do. Only you can take back your power. I found out that I have power. I didn't know about this. Because when I was in the abusive relationship, I allowed him to tell me how awful I was and all those nasty names he called me. I allowed him to beat me and not do anything to stop him. I gave him that power. Go, here, take my power. But then I learned that me, am responsible to allow myself to either be beaten, to be verbally abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused. I have that power to go, hey, enough. Stop. I'm done. And you do too. But you have to find it within you. And if you can't find that within you, find someone you can talk to. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of family members will not understand. They will judge you. Mine have. I even have family members that have disowned me because I wrote this book. Now, this book does not have anyone's names in it, not first or last names. And my name now is not what it was when I was growing up. So no one's going to know who my family is. But, I have what's the words they said to me, that I have put our family name through the mud. No, I didn't, because that family name is not this name. This is me. This is not them and what happened back then. So I don't want to hear it. But because of that, they judged me because they didn't want to know the truth. They didn't want to know that our family member, what that person did to me. They didn't want to know. And you know what? It's okay. I forgive them. If they want to disown me, I forgive them. I forgive them because God says I must forgive. Not because what they did was right or wrong, but because God said I had to. And let me tell you, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do, to forgive my abusers, to forgive my family for judging me. But what really has been the hardest is forgiving myself. Forgiving that little girl inside of me that was abused by her family. Forgiving that woman who became a young mother at 18 and a wife at 18. Forgiving her for sticking with that man through thick and thin and bad and good. I had to forgive her. She is not me now. I had to forgive her. And I did. And you can too. And it's not easy. Oh, I'm telling you, it's not easy because it's not easy. But it's doable. It can be done if you want it to. If you want it to. And again, this is your choice. I can't make that choice for you. Yes, truth does hurt, Josephine. You know, even if the family doesn't see the light, that's okay. That is okay because I'm okay. I am good with where I am and who I am. And I have a love greater than anyone else. I have God's love. I have God's heavenly love. And this kind of love will not hurt me. It's in 1 Corinthians. If you read that, love is kind, love is gentle, love is patient. It does not hurt. And I don't know the rest of it, but it's in there. Yes. Yes. That's exactly what I want. I want each and every single one of you to realize your worth. To realize that you're loved. Because God does love you. I know He does. I feel it every day. And I praise God every day that my son did not turn out to be like his biological father. My current husband has adopted my 3 kids, and I thank God every day for that too. Let me tell you, it's been a blessing. I am thoroughly blessed in the life that I have right now. And I know that each and every single one of you out there can too. But you have to choose to be strong for yourself. You have to choose that. I can't tell you to walk away. I can't tell you how to walk away. I can't tell you any of that. What I can tell you is how amazing and strong you really, truly are. But you have to believe in yourself first. You have to believe in you. I believe in you. And I can tell you that I believe in you. But you have to feel that you believe in you first before you can make any changes in your life. Any changes. And if you have left the abusive situation and you're still feeling the victim status, and yes, there's a difference between being a victim and being a survivor, and I am a survivor. I am a survivor. I am a thriving survivor. I look back, and I do look back, and I recommend that you look back to your past and you remember what happened back there so you don't repeat it again. So that you can tell others what you went through so that they don't do the same thing. It's okay to look back. Just don't stay there. Don't stay there. Because you're better than that. I'm better than that. You're better than that. And God willing, someday you'll be able to talk like I am about the abuse that I went through and go, you know what? Like my book says, abused, it is what it is. I can't change it. You can't change it. It happened. It's done. And all we can do is realize our worth from it all and maybe help others. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself because you didn't know. Now you do. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your heart. Love yourself. Because I'm telling you, I love my husband to death. My current husband is wonderful. I love him. He loves me. But I have to love me. I have to love me in order to share that love with anyone else, whether it be you, my husband, my children. I have to love me. You have to love you in order to share that love with all those around you. And I pray you do. I pray you do. Exactly. And that's exactly what I had done. I had punished myself for years. I was this person that I didn't even know who I was, and I didn't like her, and I had to recreate the person I am today because I didn't like that person. But I'm here to tell you it's possible. I'm having a second book writing. I am writing that right now. The title is going to be Tiny Steps to Success, and I'm doing book 1 right now. Book 1 is only one part of it. I'm going to do several other books to tell you the tiny steps to take that I took to get to where I am today. They may not be your steps, but hopefully they will guide you to your steps. Thank you, Josephine. Hopefully they can guide you. And hopefully if anyone is watching this and you know someone that could use those, give it to them as a gift. I promise they won't be much because I want you to have it. I want you to learn from it. And I want you to love yourself, forgive yourself, and maybe be kinder to yourself than you've ever been to anyone else. Because I also found that we generally are kinder to strangers than we are to our own loved ones and to our own selves. That has got to stop. We have to love ourselves. We have to be kinder to ourselves. Because otherwise, the negative committee, or recently I heard someone call it ants. Let me see if I can remember. Automated negative thoughts are running through our head, calling ourselves names and saying we're worthless and we can't do this. So why even bother? No one wants to hear it. Get out of your head and fight it. Verbally fight that stuff that's in your head and say, I can do this. I am worthy enough. I am smart enough. I am enough. Because God says I'm enough and He loves me. And love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Because, honey, it all starts here. All starts right here. We have to love ourselves. We do. Thank you, Josephine. And thank you. I am almost done with my second book. I'm really excited. I'm almost done with it. I just have to go in and tweak a few things here and there and type it up. I actually literally handwritten it. So now I have to type it up on my computer and put it on Amazon here. And I'm hoping to do that within the next month. Pray that I get it done. But that's going to be my first book. It's going to be self-care and what I had to do, what I had to learn. So I'm going to jump off here. I have to go take care of my daughter and grandson. Thank you. And I'm going to go out and enjoy the sunshine. And I hope you do too, because there's so much life out there. There is life after abuse. There is light after abuse, but only you can cross that line. I can't cross it for you. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Look me up. Follow. Respond. Leave me messages, and I will respond back because I do care. I do care about you and everyone else, and especially myself. And together, we are stronger, and we need each other. So reach out. I'm here anytime. Reach out. Let me put my website up in the notes here. When I get off, I'll put my website up and my email will be in there. Just go ahead and email me if you need to talk. I will get that quickly. And I wish you the best, wonderful day. I know it's a holiday weekend, so please be safe. Love yourself. Love your family. Be kind to yourself as you are to strangers, or better. All right. Much love. Mwah. Have a great day, guys. And Josephine, thank you so much. All right, guys, you take care. All right, guys. See ya. Mwah. God loves you.